Hello everyone. Okay, today I'm going to practice a new landscape. Let me import the picture into Krita. I'm going to use an splash image. I love Krita because you can import a reference to the canvas directly from the website. I'm dragging the picture directly to Krita and appears this menu, and you can insert as reference the image. Here asks for download the image. I click yes and the image appears. Okay, I'm going to use this beautiful landscape as reference. I'm going to position in here and select the brush tool. Okay, the goal for this practice is to practice these bumps. I like this style of landscape. This is very strange. Look how it's a bit fantasy landscape because it's very strange, very dreamlike. Because the house is the house of the church, I don't know, it's beautiful. I like it, the landscape. And the goal here is to practice these bumps and the lighting and the overall lighting. I don't care very much the background trees. I'm not going to spend very much. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those trees, and on the background I'm going to focus more on this area. I don't care the house as well because I'm not very interested in this area. I'm going to focus on this area. So let's start. Let me move some windows. Okay. I'm going to start filling the background with a darker color. It's something always I forgot to do it, to fill the background with a dark color, because it's better for the vision, to not burn your eyes with the pure white color. So I'm going to use something bluish, some bluish color, something like this, and I'm going to fill the background. I'm using Krita. I said in previous videos that I'm switched to Krita from Photoshop to Krita because it's like Photoshop for drawing. It's like Photoshop, the interface and all options, all basic options, and as I usually use, with extra tools like you can customize the top toolbar, all these tools. You can also download my brushes for Krita, are also available for Krita. You can see here all my brushes, and it's very customizable. I like it. Also, you can download you can download my workspace from the same website, from my store, synthetic synthetic.store. You can download my brushes and the workspace you can see here. All the tools disposed with this, the color picker here, the brushes here, and the toolbar with these shortcuts. And let's go to let's start the illustration. Okay, here I'm not going to make the sketch with all the areas because it's very simple. It's just this area and this area, and the trees are very clear, the areas here in this case. So I'm going to start to blocking in with big shapes, and that's it, because it's very clear the areas. So I'm going to start painting the sky, because I will take advantage of the color of the sky to mix it with the green of the ground. Maybe a saturated blue. You can see here at the top the current color I'm selecting, and the current brush. Okay, I'm going to use the flat brush. Oops. Okay, the flat brush, and let's start. Okay, you see here the flat brush very laggy because I'm doing the stream and recording at the same time at 4K, and on larger sizes using bigger sizes is very laggy. You can see the texture of this brush is I like it, this texture. And you can control the flow to add more opacity or more softer effect. I'm not going to use the same colors of the image. I'm going to use my own palette, more anime or Ghibli style. Here, usually the natural colors of picture or photographies are yellowish than anime style. Anime style is more bluish and turquoise. So I'm going to apply my own colors. Okay, for the process of painting digitally, I use the same techniques that I used when I painted traditionally. You can see on my YouTube channel, my older videos are painting traditionally with gouache. So my techniques, you can see the techniques I'm using here. If you see my traditional painting video, you can see that I start exactly with the same processes. In fact, this flat brush is almost the same brush as I use for traditional painting on paper. For start the sky, usually for anime style and for this kind of gradients, you have to use a flatter brush. It's because that my brushes are I created these brushes thinking on traditional techniques because I'm used to follow the traditional process for painting, and I translated that process to digital. Okay, I'm going to soft to blur a bit the gradient. Hi, Jose Oliver. Thanks for watching. Okay, something like this. I don't. The goal is not to get a perfect gradient. I like this kind of differentiation on the sky. Because it simulates a bit of something like fog or distant fog or distant clouds. But later I'm going to add some clouds, not exactly these clouds. I don't know. Maybe I will see later. Or no, the sky is okay. I'm going to paint the ground, the grass area. Okay, new layer, and with one more time the flat brush. And in this case, I'm going to start with lighter green, and I paint from lights to shadows. And I modify a bit the composition because the horizontal line is too much on the middle. I'm going to move a bit down the horizontal line, maybe something like this, to improve a bit the composition. Yeah, something like this. And darker at the bottom. I'm going to blur a bit the texture. Okay, new layer, and I'm going to pick the general soft brush because it's maybe the distant tree is soft. Yes, this is more rounded. You can see the shape of this brush is is itself very rounded. Maybe it works nice with these bumps. And I'm going to work with big shapes for the bumps at the beginning. And at this point I'm going to start to mixing a lot of colors, a lot of variation of greens and some yellows, orange and some turquoise, because here is the key to have a better texture and righteous illustration with righteous color and better color harmony and textures. So let's start at the beginning. I'm using the same colors that I have on the canvas. Yes, you can see that this brush generates almost the same, automatically the same bumps, the same texture on the ground. I'm not going to copy exactly the same bumps because it's not the goal of a practice. The practice, these kind of practices are just for experiment with light, with shadows, and it's very difficult to copy exactly the same bumps. Only if you want to create the exact same image for some reason. So okay, it's okay if you want to copy exactly the same image. But in this case, it's not my goal to copy the exact image. Okay, here there is a shadow. I don't know if I'm going to use this shadow. Maybe yes. Yes, I'm going to add this shadow here. You can see that the house is still not here, but I'm already adding the shadow of the house. Okay, I'm going to add more color variations here. Just subtle greens variations. You can see how I use the color. I pick the color from the color picker. For example, if I choose an orange shade, for example, this orange, this selection is very saturated, so I paint a bit on over the color I have, and I mix with the color that I already have on the painting, and I pick the shadow, and with this new color I paint a bit, and I continue picking new colors directly from the canvas. And this is the equivalent of mixing colors on a palette. It's not exactly the same, because mixing colors on a palette is much more complex, but it's a very close approximation. Here there is a lot of orange. I'm going to pick a yellowish shade. Okay, this is too much yellow, so I pick and I paint with this yellow, with this new yellow, mix it with the green. Okay. I'm not going to copy exactly as I said at the beginning. The same is just a reference. I'm going to create the concept of a ground with bumps. I'm not going to copy exactly the same bumps, but I can take some references. For example, the lighting here. This bump represents that this is bump, and I can copy something. Okay, I have to add more shadow at the bottom of the bumps. Okay, I'm going to dark a bit more the Okay, now seems more bumps. Maybe I have to add more dark here. Okay, I'm going to blur a bit the texture. Okay, now you can start seeing the shape of the concept of the illustration of the ground. When you are at this stage, you have to make the canvas small to see like the illustration like a thumbnail. It's because I have here at the top the thumbnail always visible, because when you start seeing the almost the final illustration here is the sign that you are doing the things correctly. When you zoom in, you see that all is a mess, but this is the process. Now from here you can start to detailing, and and it's possible that the illustration finish is going to finish right, and you have a good illustration at the end. Okay, I'm going to detail more the foreground area. The background area I'm not going to detail very much because it's farther and don't involve a lot of detail. Just maybe some touches of shadows, like here, some touches of shadows here, but I'm not going to detail it very much. So for here I'm going to use, well, I'm going to add more textures before to continue detailing more texture here, but with the round blend brush, not round blend, not with the rounded sketch. Yes, rounded sketch. See how beautiful it looks when you apply color variations on a texture or on a surface. When you think about grass or a field of vegetation, you only feel about greens and greens, browns, but actually you can mix with orange, yellows. Remember, yellows, not direct yellows, but for example, if I use this yellow, I paint a bit and I apply this yellow, mix it with the background colors. And continuous mixing. And now I'm taking advantage of the shadows I already have here. And I'm going to use it for creating the grass effect, mixing the two areas, the shadow areas, the different color areas with the light area. I'm not going out to detail a lot the grass because I could spend hours and hours only with the grass. So I'm just add some areas of with detail because I can't add the same detail to all areas. Continue to adding colors here. It's important to highlight the contrast between the shadow and light areas. Okay, I'm going to add a bit more of grass here, detail a bit more the background, and I think that the goal of the practice is this. As I said at the beginning, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the background. I will paint the house, but not with a lot of detail. The goal of this practice was this area, the bumps. These bumps and these textures, but with my anime style, anime or Ghibli style. Okay, here you can see here that the strokes I made before are visible. I can take advantage of these strokes to generate the texture. For example, add shadow around these bumps. For example, this is one bump, this is another one, this is another one, this. So adding a bit of dots like shadows generates this effect of bumps. You see? And adding a light over them. But here a lighter color, lighter texture of grass, of short grass, adds this effect of bumps or 3D effect. going to add a bit more of color variations here because it looks so flat. Okay, now it looks better. I'm going to use this same yellow. I'm increasing here the shadow because it looks a bit plain, like to create the same effect like that here. Going to blur a bit with the smudge tool. And continue with the round sketch. Okay, I think that this area for this practice it's okay. I'm going to finish the middle area. As I said, I'm not going to add much more detail, just to highlight shadows a bit more, just with some touches, and that's it. When you see the anime style illustrations or Ghibli style, you can see that the most detailed area is the foreground, and the background usually is have a very low detail. But the enough low detail to recognize what is each shape. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm going to add a bit more color variation because it's a bit too much plain. Okay, I'm going to use the treetop, no, the distant tree soft brush. I decrease or increase the flow not constantly, but for For example, for these areas that I just need a bit of texture, just a bit, with the flow, the brush is more pasty, more not the flow is not about opacity, it's more about the pasty of the brush. You can see that mix better than when you see the difference. The mix is better than with the flow at the maximum level. I'm going to mix a bit this color with the background because the separation is too heavy. Okay, I eliminate this bump to integrate more the background with this area. Actually, it's this area that is actually integrated with the background. Yes, it's better like this. I generated here another bump, but it's better to integrate like this area of the background merge with the foreground. Yes, looks nice now. It's like the light. The light comes from here. And touch this bump. I think here there is another tree. Actually, here there is another tree and cast the shadow over these bumps. Actually, the tree casts the shadows like this, but the shadow here is behind this bump, and you can see actually the shadow of the tree, all the shadow, because it's behind this area, and the shadow is actually here, but you see we only see the contrast between the light and shadow. We don't see here this transition that we can see at this area where there is not another bump. Actually, the structure of this area is here a bump, here a bump, here is plain, is flat, and here is another bump. Okay, I think the goal of the practice is reached. Maybe I'm going to add a bit more of detail. Here the level of detail is now it's up to you, up to you. But in my case, I can spend hours and hours detailing this area. Is my favorite part of the illustration. Detailing grass and detailing vegetation, can spend hours and hours detailing. Okay, I think I'm going to paint the house, and for this session I'm going to paint the roof of the house and maybe the main shape, and that's it for now, for today. Maybe I divided this illustration, so this practice, in 2 sessions. So let's do the flat brush. No, maybe the rectangle soft. Okay, the house is here. Yes, something like this. It's okay. And now the color variations over the roof. The bottom is more green. There is more vegetation, more green vegetation at the bottom than at the top. and also this area. Select. I'm going to select maybe the general soft brush. Okay, I'm going to make my own version of the house. Not to copy exactly the same windows. I'm going to make here a door and maybe one window here. But I like the vegetation, the roof vegetation. And I will add a chimney here. Okay, you can see I added some extra vegetation here. I think it adds a bit of feeling of abandoned or more integrated with the surroundings. Okay, and here I'm going to add a chimney. With a rectangle brush. Some kind of rudimentary chimney, not very polished. And integrated with the vegetation, maybe, or at least at its top. With I'm going to use here the round sketch. And here the chimney casts its own shadow with the same direction that yes, I like it. It looks very integrated with the landscape. don't know what to do with this wall. So maybe some. I'm going to add some touches of yeah, just some touches of some strokes are enough to simulate the texture of the wall of stones or rocks. And for the front, I think I'm going to use the same texture to continue like simulating simulating that the house is built with rocks, with stones. You can see that the color variation is almost not visible, but when you zooming out, you can see that it simulates the texture. Yeah, here I'm going to continue the yeah, like this. Simulate that the lights continue behind the house and touches a bit the edge of the roof. And here I'm going to add the door. Because it's in the shadow area, the door is actually not very much visible. But it's enough visible to generate the effect of the door. Same with a window here. It's not the best door texture, but I don't want to spend much more time on the house. Okay, I think I'm going to keep the house like this, and I think I'm going to finish for today this session. Maybe on the next session I finished the house. I don't know if I will add more detail or improve the house and the window, but I can add something more here at the front of the house and finishing the background trees and this front and this foreground tree, and adding some clouds, and that's it. Okay, but for this session the result is very nice. I'm very happy with this area. Okay, so remember you can download my brushes from my digital store and check my prints from the links in the description. You can buy there my, let me show you. You can buy there my gaming mousepads. Let me show you the mousepad. It's the mousepad I use on my videos. It's a very good quality. I really like the quality of this mousepad. You can see the level of detail of the print. It's very nice. The link is in the description. You can see how big is. And the another one I have is the Frieren Inspired. This is amazing, the print quality of this one, because of the detail of this illustration is a high detail illustration. You can see the actual colors because the light here is very warm, and you see the colors a bit disordered, but you can see how beautiful it looks, this illustration. I see that it looks so dark. Let me increase the light one moment. Okay, let me show you now how it looks. Okay, now looks better. A bit better. It's still a bit. But I like it very much. These Mousepads are very high quality. So that's it for today. I continue this session. I don't know if tomorrow or in 2 days, but I like the result. I like how the illustration is going on. Maybe I can add here some flowers and some magical creatures. But I like it. I like how it looks. You can see that I take as reference the concept, but I not copy the exact shapes or the exact house. I create my own version of the house. So I hope you enjoyed the session, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.